So the Houston Rockets beat the San Antonio Spurs 134-96, and I felt like I'd upload this a bit later on so I can kind of analyze the footage a bit more and give a 100% clear and concise opinion. But before I get into my opinion, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. All my links to my social media will be down below in the description. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the Houston Rockets really impressed me in the opening preseason game against the Spurs. However, please take it with a grain of salt, as it's a preseason game. It's only one game, and there's a very high chance that the Spurs might be the worst team in the NBA in this upcoming season, especially with no Keldon Johnson in this one. So what actually impressed me the most as a team? Well, the Rockets last year were a terrible rebounding side, and in this game today they out-rebounded the Spurs by far and had 60 total rebounds. That is honestly music to my ears, because I've been a person that always stood on the stance that rebounding is 95% effort, and I definitely saw the effort on the offensive glass and defensive glass as well. Now, another thing that helps the rebounding is that you're just a bigger team now. At one point, the Rockets had Garrison Matthews at the 3 and Jay Sean Tate at the 4, who are both 6'5", 6'4", so not the biggest lineup. Now at the 3 and the 4, you have Tari Eason and you have Jabari Smith, who work perfectly together in these two positions and are very good active rebounders and definitely will help in this aspect of the floor. Now, speaking of Jabari Smith, I was so impressed with what I saw of him today, because I saw a lot of people who were just so concerned over Summer League and overreacting. I was like, guys, chill. Jabari Smith has a special skill set. When he's actually playing with the actual roster in preseason and the actual season, you'll see Jabari Smith's quality. Now, as I said earlier, I'll take it with a pinch of salt, as it is the preseason. However, Jabari Smith, the game just came so naturally to him. I like the few cuts he had, and especially his spot-up shooting. He was not forcing up shots. It was coming naturally to him, and that form looks so pure. Like, the thing about Jabari, which is just so nice to see, is that he is 6'10", but he looks more like 7 foot in my opinion, and he has such a pure jump shot, as most of his catch and shoot shots were nothing but net. My favorite play of the day from Jabari Smith was when he walked up the floor, was it in the second quarter, and then just pulled up over Doug McDermott's head, nothing but net, walked up the entire length of the floor as well. That was just such a beautiful play to see, and I feel like Jabari Smith is just oozing with confidence right now, and I really want him to carry that through into the season, because I'm being dead serious now. He may not fill up the stat sheet like a Paolo Banchero, who might give you 16, 8 and 8 for example, but Jabari Smith will definitely be in a start in his role. Whether that means he's going to be a 3-and-D guy, or he has potential, well, he definitely has potential to be more than that, but whatever role you give him, he will just be perfect in that role, and you can definitely mold him into so many different things if you need him to be that. Because defensively, I love watching this guy defensively. The way he gets into his defensive stance and almost sits on thin air is just a myth. You don't see that from someone who's pushing 7 foot, but his mobility helps him to stay on little guards and switch 1 through 5, which is such a great asset to have in today's NBA, and I just loved watching him, and I hope he can carry that on in the next preseason game against the Raptors. Now, on to Tari Eason. Well, Tari Eason, what can I say? I've been very high on Tari since before the draft process, and I just feel like he's the perfect man for this team. He hustles on the glass, he hustles on both ends of the floor, and he's just so aggressive. I love the way he bulldozes his way inside. He loves finishing through contact. Yes, he does have some very ill-advised layups, which he takes almost every game, but he hustles so much and usually gets the offensive board, and is a great finisher at the rim. Now, one thing that impressed me the most about Tari is his ability to pass out of the paint, because not a lot of guys do this, but Tari Eason had a lot of plays today where he would drive inside the paint, he'll see the help defender come over from the corner, and he'll swing it over to the corner for an open shot, or he was just very good at passing out. Because big issues with guys nowadays is that once they drive into the paint, the only thing in their mind is, I'm going up with this layup. A player that comes into my mind who does that a lot is RJ Barrett, and I'm not comparing the two, I just thought I'd bring that up. And the fact that Tari Eason already has that aspect of his game, knowing when to go up, and that he can also pass out the paint to an open man, is something that's very positive to see, and I honestly just loved watching this guy today. And the thing about Tari Eason is that one thing I love is that his shot, in my opinion, is decent. However, it can improve, but I love the way he doesn't lack confidence and definitely pulls the trigger. I was actually laughing when he hit that shot top of the key and it banged in, because, you know, but at least it went in. But I definitely feel like Tari Eason has great confidence and will just be a bonus for this team overall. I'm going to touch on everyone else briefly, but we already know what Jalen Green's about. The guy has unreal scoring potential and showed it today. He's just a bucket. Kevin Porter Jr. had some nice possessions, especially when he sized up, was it Blake Wesley from the mid-range area. pulled it back, created a nice bit of separation, and just pulled up. That was so smooth. And I just overall loved the entire roster today. Alperen Sengun with his shifty footwork inside. I can't remember who was against, who the defender was, but I believe it was in the second quarter where Alperen Sengun hit him with a little bit of a dream shake up and under layup and one. But I just feel like this team is meshing. You've got a perfect balance of perimeter guys, defenders, someone like Sengun, he's so crafty in the post. But there's so many options and directions you can go in with this team, and I'm really intrigued to see how good they can be next season, because bearing off the chemistry I saw against the San Antonio Spurs, I just don't see how they're back like early in the lottery. If they were going to be in the lottery, I'd expect them to be like 10th to 15th, which is hard, especially when you have someone like Victor Wembanyama. But the team just isn't at that point where they're that bad anymore. If they really wanted to push for a playing spot, not saying they'd get it, but they can genuinely be in contention for that, because the Rockets are good. As in, they're definitely going to make some noise next season, or this season, as I should say. Rockets fans better buckle up and enjoy this ride, because I genuinely feel like the Rockets are going to be a joy to watch this season and will be one of the most entertaining teams to watch in the entire league. Now, after they play the Raptors on Saturday my time, I think it might be Friday in the US, but I'm in England, so it might be Saturday like at 1 a.m. After I finish watching that, I'll try upload my opinion right after the game's concluded, so I can give my opinion to you guys as soon as possible. Obviously, I do have schoolwork, so it's a bit hard for me to balance, but I do appreciate for you guys for watching this video a bit later than usual, but still hearing my opinion. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the Rockets in the comment section down below, but I'm out. Peace.